Hi there, we are live.
Okay, good. I'm double checking it here. You got the clearance there, Erica?
Yes, sir, I did. Hello, David Kirsten. Woohoo!
Hi, welcome. Welcome to the first Ripple Affected 2023. Good to see you. You. It's a little dark over there too with the storm, but
Yeah, it's like raining so hard. It's like almost thick rain falling down. For a minute it sounded like it was hailing. I was out there earlier cleaning up my vertical gardens and I just missed the pour. Like I was cleaning and clearing things off and getting ready to show it off tomorrow for my 10-minute presentation in our BNI chapter. And wow, I totally missed getting pummeled by the hail.
I know I was out there getting pummeled earlier when I was coming home from the gym. Yeah,
Gosh,
quite
wow.
a storm. I mean, yeah.
Did you hear the storm in the night, David, where it was like, did you have like a loud sound in the night where it felt like at any moment something was going to fall on something? It was so loud. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that last night, but I had a few nights ago. We had some loud thunder and lightning. Yeah,
God, crazy.
yeah.
I have like a
But
little pond in my backyard.
I figure first we got to do some station identification here. If you're new to the show,
Yeah.
this is the Ripple Effect with Dave and Erica, and we are going to be on track here. We have a number of things we're going to talk about. We always like to kind of check in initially. We've been meaning to check in more closely, but we've been kind of missing each other a bit, but kind of connecting at the same time. So, um, first, I wanted to definitely pick your brain a little bit about 2023. The time is right for making changes, those healthy changes. And I actually had some new stuff I wanted to share with you that I've learned on goal setting that I'm still kind of working on. But you're kind of a master at some of the, well, it's not really so much goal setting, but it's like setting healthy habits, how to do that. And then we're going to talk about my new industry leader program a little bit. I know we didn't get as much time as I'd wanted on the show earlier. I just want to kind of introduce that to you.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I would love for
yeah,
you
yeah.
to, repetition. I know a little bit about it, but I would love for you to keep sharing about it because everybody needs to know about it because it can help them in their businesses. And this is your creation. So be loud and proud, David. Get it out there.
For sure. And then we're going to talk about some of your new stuff that we were just talking about too. So
Yeah.
lot to get to, and we can dive right in with the 2023. I know we normally do a check-in, and I was actually reading in this book last night called Atomic Habits that really kind of put what I'm help crystallize some of the things, the changes that I've been making about really how to set up an effective process in your life. I think, this kind of, I got really focused on looking more at process after our BNI event about a month or two ago. Do you remember what Mike and Don were saying about that the people who do the best are the ones not that set the highest bar because they get so frustrated, but the ones who kind of like set actually the lowest bar initially because then they can achieve their goals. So, and then you need to kind of find what works with you with goal setting and process and benchmarks, but they really stress like kind of benchmarks. And so I'm kind of curious about how you think about this stuff, but I've been trying out some new mindsets, and what's really helped me was setting up kind of a new plan for my health and fitness to where I'm not just setting to be on the cover of Men's Health right away. You're not going to get there overnight. You really have to, I set up kind of a process of a certain amount that I want to do each month or each 2 months, and then kind of stick to that and then just trust the process. And that's been working for me. I think the one thing I've really been doing is starting to run intervals, and there's
How do you feel in
yeah.
your body, David? If I can interrupt you, like, what do you notice from this new thing you're doing? Can you talk about that?
Well, when you do kind of heavier cardio stuff, and you do just feel it throughout the day that you just feel differently. So when you get your heart rate up so I just feel better, but I'm also enjoying food more. I actually facilitate these webinars. It's probably our top rated webinar, one of them on food, and really to enjoy your food. And so I've been working a lot more vegetables in, and really completely changed my diet around, to not, to eat salads like every day and also eating a lot of vegetables. You'd be proud. Yeah. But that makes a difference. But the thing also I got from this book that kind of crystallized in my mind some of the things I've been doing for a month or so is that you don't see the results right away. It talks about kind of a valley, before you really break through. So it takes some time, and then you start seeing results that can kind of come in leaps and bounds. And I feel that about just how I can make the changes that I've made have kind of created this like 180-degree turn, and how I look at some of this stuff, and that in itself I know is going to produce long-term
You didn't
changes.
hear that? We just had a huge electric thunderstorm just now. That's why I made
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you kept the lights on.
It just had me jump out of my skin. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Anyway, I'm going a little too deep here, but
No, that's great. That's
yeah,
great, David.
yeah.
I am so excited that you have been jazzed by this. What do you feel in your skin? What do you feel and notice in your skin? Because that's the most interesting thing about all this is like, what is your somatic experience right now?
Yeah, I think the big difference coming from having just always being focused on your overall goal, but to be proud of your smaller successes, and you just feel better about yourself throughout the week. So I would always get frustrated before, um, when you don't see kind of big results, and it's so just the mindset that Don and Mike taught us about, that it's okay to, you talk about baby steps, and that's how I kind of did better before. Um,
Yep.
so you this concept that I'd mentioned, that if we change, we make 1% of change and a lot of things in our life for health, that you have to keep that motivation. So it's not only your diet, it's when you eat, it's like how you think about food. You got to change all these things just a little bit, and then they start changing more and more on their own as you think about it, if that makes sense. So
It sounds like you are slowly but surely noticing healthy lifestyle shifts are creating little doable next steps as you sip your coffee. Yeah.
yeah, but it really all started with me running the intervals, because I find so many trainers out there, they don't almost want to tell you the full story. And this isn't any trainer in particular, that kind of what works for them isn't what works for you. So I've always had the best success when I do kind of a lot of like harder cardio, because that's like what can make a huge difference. It goes back to my dancing. I used to go out and dance like 3 or 4 times a week, so I never had to do cardio. But
And you didn't invite me. If you ever go out,
this was probably, I haven't done that in a while, but
oh my gosh,
there's no better exercise.
you would. What kind of dance would you do?
Mostly like hip hop and house stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, I go dancing, so I'll invite you, David. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. I know there was a party for the new mayor in Oakland, a dance party last night that sounded kind of cool, but I didn't go. Yeah.
I went to the one thanking the former mayor. I went to the gratitude ball for Libby Schaff. That was fun.
Oh, okay. When was that?
That was it was in December. It was in December, at the end of December. It was really cool. It was really sweet. And it was at this big hangar somewhere near the bay. And it was like kind of industrial area by the bay where this party happened. It was fun. So yes, yes, I'll invite you to some dancing, David, and I'm always up for it. And you can always come join me for dance that I do on Fridays and Sundays.
Okay, cool. I know Carrie's actually the big dancer in the family now, so
I love it. She will be eaten up alive in a good way. Like if she comes to the dance on Sunday or Friday night, it's so cool. You're so welcome. So
Well, good to hear. Well, um, should we get into a few of your programs first? So you want me to tell you a little bit about this industry leader?
yeah,
Um,
tell us about your programs. I really want to
yeah,
hear. Congratulations on your success, and let me know how I can support you with your successes. That the goals and successes that you're experiencing, definitely want to keep that up. So let me know how I can support you. Okay.
okay. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And this new program we were talking about briefly with Pradna is really based on some of the successful things that I really see that go into becoming a industry leader, and it's a business leadership program. So it's a coaching program and it's a 6-month program, but really it kind of starts with gaining clarity on what an industry leader is, and getting you on the path to becoming an industry leader. So we look at core values, purpose, vision, a definite action plan, something called the terror barrier. And there are some overlaps with Rising Star, the previous program, but I think the big difference of this program versus Rising Star is that it's intended for people who want to be industry leaders, not just kind of breakthrough. So it's a little bit, I call it like the upper division versus like the undergraduate work. So, but there are a lot of similar tools, and then the visions are different. When you want to be an industry leader versus Rising Star, that whole mindset is different. So, I really think here are the kind of modules. What is an industry leader? What's the path? So, and a lot of this stuff was actually explained to me through my business coach about when you set up this framework for what makes people industry leaders, and then everything you look at or everything you do gets looked at through that lens. Like, so she would talk about, for example, Henry Ford or Thomas Edison, or even people like Churchill or Napoleon, and kind of what made them different and unique, what made them kind of industry leaders, so to speak. So it's basically the best practices as it was taught to me from Pradna and Corey and a lot of these biographies that I read on industry leaders. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, and it just came out, so I'm going to be pushing it forward. And I'm probably going to be doing some kind of speaking on it, in terms of if a company or group wants to learn about these concepts, to put it into a workshop or kind of a lunch and learn type of thing. So yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Very cool, David. When can somebody tune in to hear more details? Do you have a focused info session coming up?
I am going to do some things like that, probably an event, maybe here on the Ripple Effect, or maybe the best way is to tune into the podcast Quantum Leap when we talk about it, because we are going to be going through module by module concepts on Quantum Leap. So that's going to be kind of the free version that you can hear all these things, and it's not going to give away everything, so to speak, but we're going to talk more about it. Otherwise, it is available by referral within kind of just our network. So if you want to learn more, just set up a one-to-one by getting a referral from within our network. Yeah.
Very cool, David. I think I want to play with that. And, I'm always learning and expanding and figuring out how I can do things better. So this sounds like a no-brainer for up-leveling and expanding and leveraging, what I'm doing as a business owner. So it sounds really amazing.
Yeah. No, I look forward to telling you more, and just keep an eye on those Quantum Leap segments. And, we can talk about some of this stuff on the Ripple Effect as we talk. I think one thing we are looking at doing that's interesting on Quantum Leap that we could consider on this show too, is to have some of these topics where you have people talk about a subject, so maybe we talk about daily practice, and that's a module of industry leaders. So I can give my thoughts on that. You can share your thoughts. Maybe we have a guest talk about daily practice, who we think has great daily practice. Yeah.
I'm all about that. Sure. And do you have an idea of like exactly what's the platform that you're going to use for your class? You're going to do it with recorded videos. You're going to have a Zoom format. You're going to have in-person parts, or is it all a hodgepodge of all of it?
Yeah, it's really kind of a one-on-one coaching program. Most of it's just done kind of one-on-one. but then there is a written component that I'm going to put into podcasts as well, and then longer videos. And then there's also kind of like one-on-one, like office hours. I am looking at some group sessions at some point, is more of kind of a intro to it, like a, they call it, Maxwell calls it like mastermind sessions, like kind of like a lunch and learn. Maybe we do like a quick workshop on purpose and core values or something, as kind of an intro to some of this concept. So we're actually looking at doing some of this through Rotary and also with Corey as well. So, or both.
When you say with Corey, not, you mean Take Wing Coaching, the Lift platform? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
Lift platform is a wonderful platform to share your course.
yeah.
Really
Yeah,
rolling
so
with their courses, and that's so the other half of Take Wing Coaching is Gail Knott, and Gail's been coaching me about my course, and I'm putting together. So it's all
wait,
win.
yeah, tell me about well, you have something coming up next week in Vegas, but are your de-frag course, and then what's on your plate right now?
That's a good question. So every Friday I have been doing this event where people can come tune in by Zoom, and it's called de-fraggle Fridays. So people come tune in, we do different holistic approaches to wellness, self-care tools, and experiential exercises. Last week, we were working on using the fullest capacity of your breathing to help support your breath. Some people hang out on their vocal cords. You don't do that, but some people that come play with me, they hang out on their vocal cords. So we're working on breath control to use the full capacity of our breathing to support your vocalizing, expression, and so breathing exercises and things like that. But we've done the whole gamut under the auspices of mind, body, and spirit kind of practices. And I do that every Friday. And then on Mondays, I have been doing something that I offered pretty much all through the pandemic. It's called Brainworks. So that's another gathering of people on my Zoom and helping people light up their brains in new ways. So bringing creativity, expression, positivity to the party, to writing tools and exercises to help you engage, improvise, get creative, and watching how things open up when there is that element of play. So that's on Mondays at noon, and now Fridays I've switched my time over to 9 in the morning. So for those early risers, I'd love for you to come over and play with us on de-frag Fridays. And then starting January 23rd is going to be the launch of my online course called Post-Pandemic de-frag. So that word de-frag I'm using a lot. That word comes from a couple of different places, but originally, maybe you know this about the term of like defrag your computer, defrag where something, a disk got messed up or something. So you want to clean it up and simplify. So I'm using that word synonymously with cleaning it up, simplifying, bringing in all of our tools and resources for healing, health, and sanity, and even fun. So that's my term from de-frag. So post-pandemic de-frag, the full course is about holistic ways we can support, whether it's self-care, touch tools, self-touch, or the touch of another in your family. You got kids, you got people in your life that you can do good positive touch, and that would help with sleep. It would help with pain and chronic issues. So building in those daily practices for your bliss and creativity. So whether it's food related, what we're putting in our body, whether it's the touch, intrinsic movement is also a component of this course, a healing movement protocol that feels amazing. And then also the mindset work, mind and spirit. So we're having this whole triumvirate approach to my course. It's basically everything and the kitchen sink. It's everything that I've offered through the pandemic and putting it together in a course that's available. So my format is there's videos, there's a way to communicate with the others in the course through Slack. We're going to play with the Slack app, and which is really easy to use and fun. And then also, supportive Zoom meetings. So all of that to say, when you get through this class, you're going to have all these tools and tricks to work on yourself and work on those in your family and your beloveds. And you should feel much more better. And literally, we're going to clean up our systems and open up to all the things, the projects that you want to create and the projects that are good for you in your life. So that's what I'm cooking up, the mischief I'm cooking up. I'm really excited about it. And I can show you my page if you like.
Oh, sure.
Just for a minute. I know I talked just a whole bunch right there, but so this is my landing page for post-pandemic defragglement, or de-frag. And my amazing virtual assistant helped me with this, of course. And so this is on my website, erikagimbel.com. Just look for this kind of logo, post-pandemic defrag, holistic healing in chaotic times. And we kick off January 23rd, as I say, and you can sign up here. You can sign up by doing a payment plan. You can do pay in full. And now till Friday, we have a VIP code to get to have $350 off the course. So definitely message me if you would like that code. I'd love to chat with you. Definitely see if you're a fit for this. So there's a lot to read here. I don't want to overload you by just, too much information, but we're so excited. We're going to be working with, as I said before, mind, body, and soul, movement, touch, creativity, spirit, and this is everything and the kitchen sink. We'll have guest bonus speakers on. You get to be experience the summit we did last year with you, David, supporting us. We have the recording of that. We have these other amazing offers that go with it. You have the course that I did 2 years ago called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Artist, using the artist way to move through stuck places and open up to your hidden creator. And so that's what I got. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that's great. And a lot of things I recommend people do is like just have a video at the top to kind of explain it real quick. And I can give you some ideas on how to do that. I work on those for people, but
right on.
Yeah.
Well, I love your feedback. I appreciate and I receive your feedback. And I'm a therapist. I'm a psychotherapist here in the Bay Area. I see a lot of people on Zoom and by phone, and this is a way to stir things up. It's educational, it's supportive. It's not therapy exactly, but there's therapeutic aspects to all of this. I mean, most people, when was the last time you got a massage? How much massage do you have in your life?
Oh, it's been a while.
Right. So, one of my fun heroes is Barbara Streisand, and supposedly she gets a massage every night before bed. So, what if we all could take the power back and help our own bodies do what they need to do to feel more better, to feel more ease, to feel more grace, to sleep better. So I have all these tools. I've been working on holistic approaches to wellness for like 30 years, more than 30 years, actually. And so I have all different ways to get there, whether it's my cooking show, whether it's these guest speakers, whether it's my, different courses that you'll be definitely supported by. I'm excited for people to come play with me with this. It's going to be really cool to see how we actually take this course and repurpose it for business owners, repurpose it for caregivers, repurpose it for teachers. So it's exciting.
Oh, great. No, I do look forward to hearing more. And also, there's some maybe opportunity for you to present at some of the places, presenting in person or something, we should look at that.
I'm a yes. I'm always a yes to speaking with groups and supporting and offering my genius. And, this idea that yes, we can, those little baby steps. You don't have to rip a new one to get rolling towards healthier lifestyle shifts. And keep it simple.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, good. I'm glad we were able to catch up on this stuff, and we'll continue to revisit this. If you have any, other, as you get more promo stuff on it, do share it with me, and I'll share it. I can put it in my e-newsletter too.
Yeah,
And
I have you'd be so
yeah.
proud of me, David. I've created little short videos about it. I can share with you. And, this is such a gift of love. I'm so excited for packaging this together and all the videos I've done heretofore. You have really inspired me to be loud and proud and to get over my hangups about being on video. Like now we have this podcast for a couple of years now, right? And I'm just keep on creating. So thank you so much, David, for how you've inspired me.
Yeah, no, I love it. We have a lot of fun, and it just keeps getting better. And one thing we should have is somebody who's in your de-frag come on the podcast to talk a little bit about it at some point. But
Oh yeah, I mean, like
maybe down the road, or maybe even a few people. So
yeah,
keep that in mind. And
absolutely.
let's maybe cut this short here, unless there's anything else you want to add, so I can promote these segments first, and then we're gonna maybe have a guest next week. We'll see. I know it's your week for guests, so we're gonna start having some guests back. But
some ideas for guests for next week, and I will get that going with them immediately. And I will see you tomorrow morning. And if anybody's interested in coming to our networking group,
hail.
reach out to us.
Yeah.
Or you have hail now too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we had it, then the storm moved your way in Orinda. So yeah, why don't we say goodbye for now, and then we'll chat a few minutes before you have to go.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to stop the live broadcast, and thanks everyone.
Everybody.